Welcome to the ArmaniTalks podcast. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this podcast, I'm helping you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and creativity. 5 soft skills for you to change your life forever and skyrocket your confidence along the way. In today's episode, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on influencer culture. So, this was a couple of years back. I ended up going to this one networking event with this gentleman named Philip. As I'm about to get checked in, Philip tells the person that's checking us in, let's call him Ron. Hey Ron, did you know that Armani has 2,000 subscribers on YouTube? Suddenly, Ron looked very amazed. He looks at me and he's like, what, are you some kind of influencer? And that question, it bothered me a lot. But I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, so I was like, nah man, haha, and I just laughed it off. Later on throughout the event, there's a few times that I'm having a conversation with someone, and Ron finds me and tells my conversation partner, hey, watch out for this guy, pointing at me. This guy is famous. And when he kept saying that, it started to bother me because I didn't like that label of influencer. Once the event was done, I was driving back home. I started to think about why that phrase bothered me so much. And that's when I realized why. It's because to influence someone is simply a byproduct. Let me give you an example. Imagine that there's this guy named Pratik, and he spent a long time building the wrong habits. At this stage in his life, he's fat, he is not well read, he eats junk. And one day, Pratik's brother comes to him and is like, Pratik, you need to get your life in order. After being scolded like that, Pratik decides to get his life in order. He starts going to the gym, starts reading books, starts eating the right way. And as a couple of months goes on by, he looks like a completely different person. Soon, women are starting to look at Pratik and they're like, wow, he's really handsome. And Pratik starts to feel good about himself. He's attracting other people. So one day, someone asks Pratik who he is. And Pratik is like, I'm an attractor. Just think about that. Is that the wise way for Pratik to respond? No. It's because attraction was simply the byproduct of the process. The problem with the whole influencer culture is that it focuses too much on the end product. And once you identify as the end product, you completely ignore the process. See, back in the days, and I don't want to be that guy that's like, back in my days, but I'm going to be that guy. We respected the skill. When you're highly gifted at a certain skill, that's when you influence people as a byproduct. Just like Pratik was very gifted in terms of cultivating the good habits, so the byproduct was him attracting women. And this is what we fail to recognize in modern society. And this causes a lot of people to want to identify as the byproduct. Fam, when you identify as the wrong thing, what happens is that every now and then you could make intelligent decisions, but other times you are going to make a very strange decision where you embarrass your future self. This is one of those reasons why these pranks go so viral nowadays. These little challenges start to get so much eyeballs. Do you remember that one challenge where people were opening the top of an ice cream, licking it, and sticking it back in the fridge? And I'm not talking about their own fridge. I'm talking about the Walmart fridges. That's disgusting. These people want to influence others, but they don't even have any skills to influence others with. The reason that I was very bothered by that gentleman calling me an influencer was because I felt as though he was identifying me in the incorrect way. I would have preferred if he asked, "Hey, what do you talk about in your YouTube channel?" And that's when I could have broken down. Yo, I talk about soft skills, skills such as public speaking, such as creative writing, such as concentration skills, and such. And by him identifying me with my skill sets, that, I believe, represents me much more appropriately. So I'm not going to be one of those guys that's just bashing influencer culture. I believe that certain influencers are moving the world forward in a positive way. They're bringing awareness to a lot of great products, services, and content. But still, despite a lot of the good, I do not believe it's wise to identify as the end product. I believe it's much wiser to identify with the skills, the processes, and the systems. By identifying as the correct thing, you, my friend, set yourself up for long-term success. Thank you very much for joining the ArmaniTalks podcast, and I'll catch you next time.